Hello, this is Madhav Baveja, a student of Computer Science Engineering at Manipal University, Jaipur, presenting about chatbots. This would be a basic overview of how chatbot works, what is a basic system architecture of a chatbot, and what is the business logic that drives this technology. I have chosen this topic as I have been working on this for my internship for a few days and have just started researching about this and found it very fascinating. This would be a brief overview as I have limited time and I have not yet researched completely about it. The question arises, why would we like to use messaging, a primitive platform, when we have better cutting edge technology like video conferencing, voice calls, and maybe a possibility of HoloLens? So, the reason lies within the statistics. We know that 46% of all smartphone sessions include social media or messaging apps as one of the first three apps launched. That 6 out of the top 10 most used apps are messaging apps. Messaging apps have more than 5 billion monthly users worldwide, even surpass social networks in the world today. This all indicates that even though bleeding edge technology is available, people still tend to rely on messaging as it is a trusted platform and it has many facilities which video conferencing does not, like later delivery or outworks. Like video calling has these technologies, but they are more reliable in messaging. So trust factor is a very major thing involved in this, which has which still has messaging on the top. This is why we would prefer messaging over anything else. So the second question arises, why chatbots? Why use chatbots when we have people around? Well, there's a simple answer that businesses like to save money. They love to save costs on people, technology, etc. So you would be thinking, but chatbots cost a lot. Here's the answer. Investing in chatbots once can save businesses a lot of money in the future. They can engage in detail with clients using chatbots. People are available all the time, and so are chatbots, which is a great advantage for businesses providing 24/7 reliable communication. And another reason is data in a chatbot can be filtered easily. It can be sorted, it can be analyzed, and it can be retrieved in the future to provide a user profile for any customer. So, the next thing we would wonder is, how do chatbots help? Chatbots can be a very effective customer care solutions, and they are in place in many places as we speak. As I said, they are available 24/7. They can offer targeted promotions to the audience by quickly looking through the user's profile, which a human uh, person could never have done at such speeds before. It can make announcements automatically to all the users. It can gather user feedbacks of multiple users at a time. It can generate reports for the company to view. It can also retrieve customer data and build a customer profile and interact according to it. So, what is a bot? A bot, by definition, is a computer program that runs continuously, formulates decisions, acts upon those decisions without human intervention, and are able to adapt to the context they operate in. Advanced bots are powered by AI, helping it to understand complex requests, personalized responses, and improve interactions over time. In a basic, very layman term, a bot is something which can provide you with answers in a straightforward way rather than typing in complex codes, filling in lengthy forms, or searching through large databases. It simply just gets the work done. is a chatbot? A chatbot, by definition, is a form of human-computer dialogue system which operates through natural language or via speech. This, in layman terms, is basically your Google Assistant, your Siri, Alexa. All of these are chatbots. You can interact with them via text, via speech, as if you were talking to just another human being sitting next to you. These feel very natural and are a step towards better computer human interaction, I would say. So, what use is a chatbot? Chatbot can generate quick answers in an emergency. For example, if you want to, uh, if you are having a fire in your house, or someone needs medical emergency, and you call 911 or 112 in India, there would be some time delay for the call to ring, the operator to pick up. The operator will listen to your query, then they will decide what authorities to contact. Then they will contact that authority. There will be a similar time delay which happened here. The operator will inform the required authority about the problem once again, and then the authorities will finally come into action, and then they will start to do something. So this all process can be instantaneous. If we have a simple bot instead of this long chain of one operator talking to another operator and then getting to the authorities, if we had a simple bot that would directly alert the assigned authority, that would be really life-saving. It can also be used to resolve complaints. Well, in this, I would like to give an example of call centers. Have you ever called a call center and haven't waited for a single minute for less than a minute? Of course, we all have. We all have waited for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour for an operator to be free to take our call. This could be eliminated. We could get our complaints registered instantly and get acted upon as soon as possible without waiting in line for so long. We can get explanations to complex tasks very quickly. Google Assistant does this already. We ask a question, it explains it right away. Making reservations. That is also a very chatbotty thing these days. You can use chatbots to make reservations at restaurants, book a cab. Alexa already is at the top of its game in using chatbots to make reservation. We can pay bills, communicate with multiple services using one app. Well, again, I would like to quote the example of Google Assistant, Siri, and Alexa, which are a single solution to communicate with multiple apps just by using voice or text commands, and feels as natural as talking to a human being. There are various types of chatbots. The first and the most simple of them is a flow control chatbot. A flow control chatbot is a simple chatbot which has a flow, like it would ask you a question and it would expect certain responses from you. And based on this response, it would ask a further question or it would uh, do an action. So these are simple predefined routes which a chatbot can follow. It cannot do anything apart from the defined flow. It can be used, it has a basic use case for like FAQs or general complaints or something which is very common like paying bills, which has to follow the same route every time rather than a conversation. So I would not be discussing all the types of chatbots, but I would be discussing about the two most common ones. Second is the artificially intelligent chatbot. So this is the second most widely used chatbot after the flow control one, and it may surpass the flow controlled chatbot in the coming future. This chatbot has understanding of what the user is talking. It understands the context, it understands the uh, like It understands the intent of the user, and based on all these features, it generates a reply which it can give to the user. So these chatbots don't have to follow a specified flow. They can go outside the flow. They can think, they can make decisions of their own. They can think out of the box to serve, just to serve the users. So these artificially intelligent chatbots are kind of multi-purpose chatbots which can achieve almost everything which they have been trained to do. Because the components of an artificially intelligent chatbot. The first part is the natural language processing. This part is responsible for understanding the user request. It reads the words, it forms a sentence, understands the context. This is important because we need the sentence and the context to understand the intent of the user, what the user is trying to say. And when the chatbot understands what the user is trying to say or ask for, it can verify the intent, whether it is in the bounds of the chatbot, and perform certain actions to complete the user request. Natural language generation. This is basically responsible for generating the response after performing the action. After performing the action, the chatbot has data about what has been done. It has to convert this data into a regular sentence of what a human might say after completing the task, and informs the user that the task has been completed. So this is a detailed architecture of how a basic chatbot looks. So first we have, first layer is obviously the people. They use an interaction channel, which can be a web page, an instant messaging app, a smart agent, a VR or AR headset, email, activity stream, etc. to connect to the chatbot. Here we have the user experience design, the human machine UX. It can be text, it can be voice, audio, video, anything which the user uses in these apps to communicate to the chatbot. The chatbot comprises of three parts basically. The NLP and the NLG would be a component which uh, interpret the user request and generate a response. Then we have the knowledge and ML which work together to recognize the intent and perform the recognize the intent and decide what has to be done next. Then comes the business logic, which defines what intent generates what action, like what has to be done if the user is asking for, let's say, a phone number. So what the business logic will do according to the specific app, it will decide whether it has to give the phone number or not. And then the the cloud services are basically the database from where the data is being passed on, and then the NLG will convert the response back to the human machine UX, which will return the response to the interaction channel from which the question was asked in the first place, and the person can read, hear, or see the response. So, some basic use cases and benefits are again listed on the right hand side. These are information lookup, customer service, education, device control, consultation. Benefits may be high efficiency UI, asynchronous operations, lower interaction costs, reduced barriers, high scalability, and high value activities. So here are the other types of chatbots which haven't been discussed. The FAQ is the basic flow control chat box. Form is also a kind of flow control chat box which integrates conversations. Smart home is a combination of a flow control and basic machine learning chatbot, which uses a flow and also machine learning to recognize some advanced requests. The customer service is again a kind of flow chatbot. Then the advanced information, which might be a combination of both. And then we have the complex conversation within domain, which is a fully trained AI chatbot, which can understand most of the complex requests that we can generate. So, since I do not have much time left. Let's discuss some famous open source chatbot frameworks. These are Rasa Stack, MindMeld, BotPress, Microsoft Bot frameworks. These are all very impressive works done by Microsoft or Cisco, which develops MindMeld, or Rasa, which develops Rasa Stack, Rasa Core, Rasa UI, and Rasa X. I would like to go into great detail on Rasa since I have been studying it for a while, but since it would make this, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes longer if I go deep into Rasa, so I'm not going to do. And then we have some proprietary uh, chatbot frameworks, which are IBM, Watson, Wit AI, Amazon Lex, Gupshup, or BotKit, or there are immense number of proprietary chatbot frameworks. Listing them would be a very big hassle over here. So I haven't listed all of them, but there are 10 to 15 famous proprietary chatbot frameworks. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. Thank you, sir.